back on the podcast, my bro. Appreciate you being here. So just to make that clear, I said back on the podcast. We actually already filmed one back in January. By the time this one comes out, it's going to be May, right? So in that whole time, we've got to know each other a lot more. And to be fair, I think a lot has changed from January till now as well. So I thought it's only right that we re-record the podcast and make sure we do it properly.
Absolutely.
But saying that as well at the same time, I do think that was a really good conversation that we had. So what I might do, if all good with you, I might just put that in the Discord for people who are in the CEO Hub to go watch.
For sure.
But I think, let's get this one cracking. Let's get this in.
Go.
So tell me, bro, or tell the audience actually, as they're watching this podcast right now, what's the value you want to leave them with?
To be honest with you, I feel like I've been through a lot in my life. So as long as I can turn my mess into a message, I'm happy.
That's a quote right there, you know. Let's get started. What is the mess?
The mess is a lot of doubt in your surrounding from a young age. A lot of people pointing fingers saying you can't achieve, you can't become. The usual teachers pointing fingers saying you're never going to amount to anything. Personal teachers telling me you're going to end up in jail, even though I was never on road, I was never engaged in that lifestyle. Thinking, why would I end up in jail?
Yeah.
But you know, like, people pointing fingers at you and letting you know that you'll never amount to nothing. So it can make your life messy. Being in a situation where you've always wanted to become an entrepreneur, but your parents are from ethnic minority backgrounds, third world countries, they traveled here to give you a better life, and you've got to break it to them now that you want to drop out of university.
Yeah.
So now you've broken their heart. Yeah. So what do you do now? It's a mess. Everything's a mess. You know, you're struggling. You're going through this period of financial distress. You're going through a period of financial distress. You're going through a period of not knowing what you want to do in life. A never-ending period of what seems like, you know, a lack of clarity. You're waking up every single day hopeless. You're waking up every single day with no source of inspiration. You look outside, all you see is council estates. You go on the road, you walk 5 minutes, you see a crack addict. So it's like, where is the source for inspiration? You wake up every day being told that the way to live a life is literally wake up, go to work, sleep, repeat. And this is something I've actually wrote in a book that I've got coming out. I don't know when the book's going to come out, but whenever I think of things, I just write them down. And I'm nobody. I'm 25 years old, but I would like to say I grew up very, very quickly from a young age. So in the book, I say a life with no order is life on a Ferris wheel.
What do you mean by that?
If you have no order in your life, you're going to be nothing more than a hamster that's on a Ferris wheel running to nothing.
Okay, just going round in circles, basically.
In circles all day long.
No end goal.
No end goal. And the thing is, you might think you have an end goal, but because your life has no order, you don't realize that you actually have no end goal, and it's just a repetitive cycle.
What's your end goal?
My end goal is to be able to be so financially good that I can look at a homeless person and say, here's 100 grand. Like on the road in traffic.
Okay, so you said one word right there. A lot of people would say, I want to be financially free. You said financially good. Yeah. Why good and why not free?
Because you can never become free. Okay.
I'd argue you could to an extent, yeah.
Okay, to an extent. Because you're only free up until a certain figure. Up until that certain figure, you have the big guys coming after you, as you would know with your conversations with Andrew Tate, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Okay? So there's not necessarily freedom. If they come and seize all your cars, they come and seize your money, they put a stop to your bank accounts, they put a stop to your money. Where's the freedom in that?
Yeah, true.
So freedom has a limit. But that freedom is amazing.
Yeah. On the flip side of things.
Yeah, let me just make it very clear. On the flip side, it's amazing.
Yeah.
So when I say I want to be financially good, I simply mean being able to see a homeless person in traffic saying, here's 100 grand. Not just randomly like that, obviously. Spark a conversation, get to know him. Does he have inspiration? Does he have aspirations? Because a lot of these homeless people are people that you see as crack addicts. Of course, they put themselves in that situation. Some homeless people genuinely haven't. But people almost see them as mannequins. And it's sad, but all of us do. We're driving, we see them in traffic, someone's trying to beg for money. The first thing you think is he's trying to scam me.
Yeah.
The second thing you think is they've got some sort of boss that sends them out every single day and he recuperates all the profits for which is the sad reality, obviously.
Yeah, that actually
but
happens.
what about a few genuine people that are out there that genuinely have messed up their life and they go into serious situations, or maybe they were evicted, or maybe they went through a divorce and life was upside down for them and they turned to drugs or they turned to drinking. What about the person they once were? Because I said this on my story the other day, and I said, depression and feeling empty is one of life's few promises. It's guaranteed. In the midst of what you're going through, hold on to this. A butterfly is only fragile when it forgets it has wings. So in the midst of so when you are going through depression, when you are uncertain of the future, when you're down bad, remember that you have wings. And it's a universal human attribute to be forgetful. Every single human forgets. Sometimes you are the guy. You are that person. You forget. Sometimes you forget you're the guy. In the times of forgetfulness, look at your wings.
How many times would you say in your life you've forgotten that you're the guy? Because you are the guy, bro. Let's be real, you are the guy. A lot of people look up to you as well.
I'm trying to be the guy.
You're trying to be the guy.
Yeah. I'm not trying to be the guy, but on the path that I'm heading towards, people are going to... I'm trying to be the guy as in terms of leaving a real impact in this world.
Yeah.
As much as people throw around the word impact, like I'm actually trying to become impactful.
Yeah. So I'm going to ask you the same question that I asked you in the beginning. And though you answered it, I'm going to ask it. Let's just see if the answer changes at all. For people watching this right now, the value that they extract from this, or the things you want them to learn from this episode, how would you describe it? I know you said turn a mess to a message, but after everything you just said there, what is it?
I'll be honest. I would say if you had to describe my brand or who I am, it wouldn't even be trader. It wouldn't even be entrepreneur. It would literally be someone who likes to motivate people and give people hope in whatever field they're in. Because I relate with that heavily. Because bro, you have to remember, I was once depressed. I was once in a very bad situation. I was once getting paychecks from the government. I was once depressed. I once grew out my hair, grew out an afro simply because I was just in my, what do they call it? The monk mode.
Okay, yeah.
I was in monk mode.
Yeah. Well, like hidden away from the world.
Hidden away from the world, like waking up, going to a forest. You guys know my story. I've said it a lot of times in different podcasts, but I was once in that position. And honestly speaking, if I just had someone in that time that told me the reality and said to me, bro, fix up, look at you, you're the guy, like you know how to do this, you're good at this, use this skill, use that skill, start this business and you can do this, just make sure you have a detailed plan. Take out, go get a whiteboard, plan out your next 3 months and journal on this. I would have been in a different position, of course. I'm not going to dwell over it. But I understand that all some people are really missing is a mentor. Not in the trading field. I'm saying just on my social media.
In life.
I just post these random quotes. Sometimes I'll speak my thoughts. As you said, I was doing a Q&A on Instagram and I'm just speaking and trying my best to genuinely help people that are in positions that I was once in.
Yeah, it's true, bro. This is like one of the reasons why I started a second channel as well. It's not a vlog in such, but it's just me sat at the desk there, just giving my thoughts, sometimes rambling on, because there are a lot of times I think naturally as people who are always trying to elevate to the next level, we always get stuck in our own thoughts a lot of the times, and we always think about things, and we always think about the younger generation of, I wish they had someone that I didn't have. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And going back to what you said there about whiteboards and journaling and everything like that, I wish I had a mentor back then to be able to teach me these things that I know now. I'm 27 years old now, and I've only recently, being honest, got into that mindset of I've got to document everything, I've got to write everything down, I've got to get down my goals and everything. And I look back at myself when I was 17, 18 years old, I don't have none of that. But if I had that then, a mentor telling me, do this, do that, God knows where I'll be now. Do you know what I mean? So I think,
and you also have to remember, bro, you're in a position of influence. Props to you, bro. You run the biggest podcast in this entrepreneurial space, okay? In the UK at least. So you have to understand, when you're in a position of influence, people are going to take a liking to you. People are going to be looking at you for their source of inspiration.
Yeah.
And when people look up to me, for example, in my respected field, or they look up to me to give them that motivation, I understand that, okay, I can't just give generic advice, otherwise me and you will both be hypocritical. And John Maxwell speaks about this in a book. I think it was Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, or it must have been an audio book, I can't remember where. But he said, people often have a misconception of what the word leadership means. Leadership, number one, is influence. But a sub-branch of that is leadership isn't how much you know the way, but it's how much you can show the way.
How much you can show the way.
How much you can
pave it as well.
How much you can pave it. So it's like, if I'm in a situation now where I've been through a certain thing in my life and I've overcome it, I'm not just going to tell people I know how to overcome this. I'm going to show them how to overcome this.
It, yeah. You have to. Because if they're going through the same thing as well, rather than just saying, yeah, I've been there, done that. Okay, but how? What did you do to be there and do that? How did you get over it? How did you get to the next hurdle? And that's why, like, even now, be honest, in personal journey as well, I've cut out listening to music as much as I can.
Sick.
And it's sick because what I've realized is when you just in the times where you be listening to something, whether it be gym, whether it be in the car, going to places, whatever it is, if you just replace that for podcasts, the amount of things you learn in a podcast,
absolutely,
subconsciously just taking it all in, and your brain just rewires differently and learning everything from them, which is why the reason why I love having a podcast, and the reason why I like having people like yourself on as well, because not only I, but the audience get to learn so much more about your life and how you done certain things for us to be in them positions as well, which is sick. But